We bought this Supra at an auction sight unseen that was listed as a category N, which means non-structural damage. We paid almost $20,000 for a car that was completely smashed to pieces. But when it arrived, we found...
the seam sealer is cracked. It's also seam sealer. And obviously we got the big dent here.
So we started tearing down this car only to find more and more damage. The question is, can we save this car?
Okay, so it's day 2 and we just took off the air filter, and what did we see?
Well, we just took off the air filter because we wanted to make some room to remove the front end. And we spotted the chassis leg.
Oh, is it something you expected?
No, to be honest.
I thought it was less than this.
Maybe I did expect it, but I was really hoping we wouldn't have to deal with it. But...
Okay, so that's a problem for later. For now, our goal is to remove the whole front end for today.
I really hope the damage is just this. And then, well, we're gonna find out. At least this is intact.
Okay, let's go. Okay, while we are tackling the front end, here are some fun facts about the Supra. This one is an MK5, built with a bit of help from BMW, which kicked off plenty of arguments online. This car shares the notorious B58 engine, shared with many BMWs.
Now, Toyota, absolute legends. They started off making sewing machines, and now they build everything. They're also the biggest car maker in the world. Not bad for a company that once just made fabric.
As for MK5s, loads have already been written off. Why? I will tell you. Big power, rear-wheel drive and questionable decisions in the rain, just like the story of this car.
Anyways, enough with the nerdy stuff. Ours is getting rebuilt and not scrapped. So let's move on.
So it's a bit of a mess now, but we removed the whole front end, included the radiators and the radiators on the right side of the wheel. So now we can finally check what the damage is and how bad it is, because the whole subframe is moved to the left, as you can see.
This is supposed to be straight. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Yeah, you can. It's like this.
Yes.
Okay, so the whole timing belt is also literally snapped in half. I really hope this pulley... Oh.
It's not shattered.
Oh no, maybe this pulley is still good, but I hope this isn't moved. We saw already, well, this is snapped off.
Yeah.
Luckily
it's plastic, luckily, with two screws.
Hold on, plastic piece. There. So that is a plus. There's a hole in this side. Just see it now. Obviously the damage is here the most. It's crumpled here, so this is gonna be a big task to figure out how to bend this back, or that we have to replace it.
It's funny how the car looks, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, it looks like, I'm not gonna say it again.
Just laugh about it.
The first thing we're gonna do now is we're gonna measure the point from here to the front on the other side, and then from this side to this side, let's make like a triangle.
So see what the difference is.
And see how much it's moved inside. And then based on that, we can decide to pull this out, or, well, we have to decide what we're gonna do next. But
eventually, if we can't fix it, we have to we can order a whole
structural replacement. Well, problem for later, but now first let's get to measuring the other side and then this side and see what the difference is.
Okay, so next step is to remove
the right suspension. We want to take a closer look at the chassis damage right here. So we have to take off the suspension, and there's only 2 bolts left, one at the drop link and one at the arm. So we're gonna do that now. Let's go.
So, time to rip off the suspension. The struts, arms, everything is coming out so we can get proper access to the damage. We already know the subframe's toast and the chassis took a really big hit. But we need it all out of the way to see how bad it really is. And yeah, it's definitely not pretty, and this car looks less and less like an actual car, but in the end, this Supra will be straighter than ever.
Now the suspension is out of the way, we just discovered more and more damage.
Where the subframe bolts into the chassis leg, you can see it is shattered. So we were kinda hoping we would get away with just bending back the chassis leg, but now we have to do it.
Maybe this is even better, but Because now we can just order a whole front like leg till here, this whole part we can order.
Yeah, now we have to probably, I see that they joined it here, so probably we can just cut it here, order a new structural piece.
Yeah.
Maybe we can still get away with bending this back.
Maybe we can save it, but here it's like cracked too, so I don't know.
Yeah, I just hope this part is straight, like all the way back here, so we can just put on a new structural piece and, well, yeah, have it straight again.
To be honest, for me this is better because like bending it back, it don't work.
It would be impossible to bend this back, as you can see.
Yeah. Gen Z vibes, you know. We're good. Okay.
Yeah, time for the...
Well, time for the what? There's so many things we need to do.
Yeah.
Every time we said time for what? There's so many things.
Time for the next thing,
Yeah.
like 400 steps. I think it's time to do the interior.
Some interior things.
Yeah.
The whole interior, I mean.
Yeah. Let's get to that.
Let's go.
Let's see if we can get the trunk to open. That worked surprisingly well, so let's take out the interior now and, well, see what happens. Well, that's one door removed.
In the meantime, we find mysterious pennies and bubble gum grape. 1 to 10, you try one. Okay. 3, 2, 1, 7. Oh! I try then. Oh, it's new. Yeah.
Even fits.
Oh! Oh, bubble gum with motor oil.
Let's see. It feels pretty good.
And? Chemical.
Oh. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, my pen.
Oh my god. Another man's trash is another man's treasure. Or no, another man's trash is another man's pleasure. Either way works.
Okay, so we're now at the... Okay, so now the part comes where we both are very excited for, and that is
Taking out the engine. Whole engine has to come out because, well, we found out that we have to replace the whole structure part, so there's no other way.
No.
And we were kind of hoping to avoid it, but
We can't avoid it.
we can't. So
First step is to remove the exhaust and everything.
disconnect the downpipe and then we can work on the front, disconnect everything and then take it out. Let's go.
Okay, we are just deleting the under tray and look what we found. Oh my god. It's just a piece of metal of the crash.
Stuck between the oil pan of the transmission. We're lucky. Oh my god. We're lucky it didn't crack here. Oh, did it?
No.
No. Damn, it looks very clean.
Okay, so we just discovered something maybe very badly. It looks like dried blood. So we think it might have hit like a deer or a big animal.
I don't know what this is supposed to be, but maybe it's coolant though. But the coolant is green in this car, so I don't know. Anyways,
back to the
we
transmission.
took off the heat shield from the prop shaft and, well, that's not supposed to be like that.
So, moral of the story, we discover more and more damage each minute we remove stuff of the car. So, hopefully it don't get worse than this, but...
Hopefully it stays like this, yeah. Well, we're gonna take off the bracket and disconnect everything in the engine and we're gonna take it out and maybe...
It is what it is.
Yep.
Let's go. Here's another one for ya. The Toyota Supra badge actually disappeared for 17 years before the MK5s came out. 17! People thought it was gone for good, but boom, 2019 rolls around and it's back, angrier than ever.
And even though it's part BMW under the skin, Toyota says it wouldn't exist without the partnership. And love it or hate it, the MK5 brought the Supra name roaring back. And let's be honest, it still turns heads. God damn. We forgot to decompress the air conditioning.
Are you high, bro?
I'm already high. Yeah.
Well, you can't just leave this open because the gases inside are very toxic.
And
well,
illegal.
in most countries. I don't know if it's illegal in Spain, but it's definitely illegal in America. So we're gonna have to rent it or either buy it and then we can take it out. But we did disconnect everything else.
So for now the engine,
It's almost ready to be taken out.
and I'm excited for it.
Me too.
And in the meanwhile, the car looks like shit.
It does.
From the inside and from the outside. Only the back looks good though.
The back does look good, yeah.
So it's the next day and we degassed the aircon, but it was such a boring job, so we didn't film it. For now, we're gonna move on to the drive shaft to remove it so we can lift up the engine and take it out. And I'm super excited for it.
So let's start off with the drive shaft and
let's go. Next up is the prop shaft. It's about 4 bolts that connect the prop shaft to the gearbox. Because ours was kinked in the middle, because of a crash, we had to disconnect it in 2 pieces.
Now the prop shaft is disconnected, the steering rack is off and all the fuel lines are sorted. It's time to put the engine hoist in position. Only thing left, the final bolts holding the subframe to the chassis. We crack those loose and that's the engine coming out. And that is one engine plus the gearbox out. But this engine is far from perfect and it definitely has some issues. But before we can find out if it actually still works, we have one major job left to do, which is...
Let's move on to the structural parts. We've ordered all the structural parts we need to finally remove this and build up the car again. But the big question still remains, can we solve this problem? It will be a hard job, but we will find out next week. Thank you all so much for watching and we see you all next time. Oh my god.
what did we forget?
The air conditioning. So such a rookie move.